Good morning, good afternoon. Let me share my screen. So we're going to start off with continue on Inventor 2023. And what we're going to show you is quickly how to do a sketch. So the sketch we'll be working on is part of one of your exercises. Again, it gives you a time limit of expected time, how long to do it. You do have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you could time yourself and see if you could get it in within the hour and a half. Some may take longer, some may take sooner. But if you look carefully here, we'll see that the first one we're going to be doing is we have a project file name called exercises. And each file, we have the name of each one, incline support, spacer plate, and it even gives us the thickness of how much we're going to extrude in each one. So we're just going to show you quickly how to do the first one and how to set up the project so you guys can get started with your assignments. So we have this drawing here, which will be given on the class shared. The first step to do is open up Inventor, and then you'll notice a couple of things. You open it up. The first thing we need to do is you need to click on the 3 dots and go to your settings and set up a new project folder. So the default one we're not going to use, but this is going to be where everything is being saved. So we're going to press, let me just make this a little bigger for me here on the side. We're going to go press new file, new single project. We're going to call it exercises 1, because it's the first one. And you're going to save it where you want to save it inside your project folder. So depending on where you're doing it, class shared on your net, as long as you save it every so often so we could see it, you can save them where you need. I'm going to save it in my documents under, let's make a new folder. In documents, call it Inventor 2023. Again, you guys will save it in your class shared. But now inside there, I will have exercise 1. I'll put my other assignments and so forth. You press finish. If you press next, it gives you more settings, but you could also hit finish here or press next and then finish again. And now it sets it off as your default file. I press done, and then you go to a new file. So again, inside the new file, you do have your parts, your assembly, your drawing, and your presentation. We went over again, the part is where you're going to be modeling. Assembly, you're going to assemble it, and you do have the option also of modeling. Drawing is where we do our sheets, and presentation is where we're going to do the animation, exploded view, sorry. You'll have that over there. To open up our templates, you see on the left, you'll see it says templates. You do the little arrow going down, and then you have the English one, which is inches, and then you have the metric one as well. You also have mold designs. Go back to your drawing. You just have to look to make sure. If you notice, all dimensions are in inches, which means all these 6 of them will be in inches. Always go back to check which units you're using. In this case here, I'm going to use the English. And since we're not doing sheet metal, we're going to go stick to our standard one. Most times it will be the standard IN IPT, or it would be the metric standard MM. Okay, and then once you have it selected, you press the create button. Now that we're looking at this, as you can see here, we do have our display screen. We do have, what is this button? RC. So what we're going to do first is you're going to go do our start, which is start 2D sketch. And it's going to pop up a little screen asking you which view you want to start with, the XY, the XZ, the YZ. You could click it this way here, or like I just opened up in the origins, I click and I could choose which axis I want to start with. Like in AutoCAD, I like to start with the X and Y because it's the most common one, but it depends on the part you're making. We're going to start by looking at our drawing again, and you notice we could start from our origin right over here, and we could go up. It doesn't really give us the angle of this one, nor this one, but we do see that it gives us the distance. So there's a couple ways you can do it. I'm going to show you one method, and then you could go any method you want. So let's go back, and I'm going to start with a simple line. With my mouse, I click on the line command, and it's going to select it. This is where I was telling you guys yesterday, where it tells you about what's happening. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to go up right away, and I'm going to go type in 1.5, because that's the height over there. And then if you notice, it turned black right away because it's fully constrained with a dimension. Then I could just draw the shape like so. I don't have to have the precise now. I can always go back and adjust it. This one here, I could set it to 1. So whenever you know the dimension and you type in enter, it's going to show you the dimension. If I just click randomly like so, like this, it's not going to do the dimension. It's just going to use it as a reference. And then I could go down here, draw another shape, go here again, go down. This is a different method than I usually do, but I'm going to stick with this one for now. 0.5. We could go to the left. This is 0.75. Go down, 0.25. So this method here, you could draw. I could have drawn the whole piece and then done it, but because it's going to start messing up, I'm going to show you the way I actually do it. This was one way. You could draw it, then dimension it, but I like to do this way, where I have it here. For now, what I did is I just put an angle. So this is 180. 180 minus 45 will give me 135. So I'll put my angle at 135, and I'll just put a random number, and I'll go back for now and choose 1. Why I did that for? Because now I'm going to erase this dimension. I'm going to go to dimensions right over here, and I'm going to choose from this location to the bottom, which I have the dimension of 2, which is going to do this. And then also, looking at the drawing, you're going to go here and get the dimension of 0.75. The reason I'm doing this way is because I prefer it right away to become all black and fully defined. So now if I go dimension from here to here, which is going to be 0.75, I type it in. And as you can see here, it's already fully defined as I'm building it. This comes a lot easier. The other method way, what would happen is you'd have to draw it, dimension it, then do some constraints to make it work. So again, whichever way you find, I find this way a lot easier. You just have to stop, go back a bit, but it still works. If you want to move a dimension like I did before, you look for this little icon to show up while you're hovering over it, and it'll allow you to align your dimensions. If I want to pull one out, again, I just hover over it. There you go, hover over it until I get the move symbol. Now let's go back. Let's start drawing again. I know my overall at the bottom is 3, so I'm going to type in 3. I'm going to go up again because I have the most dimensions, 0.25. Going to go to the right, 0.75. Go up, 0.5. And if you notice, it's adding constraints at the same time as the dimensions. This one here, I'm not going to type it in. I'm just going to go as close to get the same number. So I get the constraint like so, 0.75. Then I could just draw a line like so, and then do another dimension saying from this location to here, I want it to be 1.25, 1.25. All I have left to do is just connect this line here to here, and my drawing is fully constrained. And I have the same amount of dimensions as are displayed in the actual project. So if I look here, I have all these dimensions on the outside, except for obviously the 1, because I got to put those in now. Now that I have this piece fully defined, constrained, I'm going to go to the circle, right? Circle right over here. And now it's telling me to choose the center location of the circle. So I'm going to click here, and it's giving me the radius. If you were to right click and you want to have the diameter, you just right click on your mouse and click the diameter button. So now I'm going to type in 1, like so, and I'm going to pull out my dimension. And I'm going to go do another dimension here. From here to here, I'm going to get the dimension of 1 again, which is given location, as well as dimension from here to here should also be 1. And like this, I have it fully constrained. It didn't take me long to do it, but again, with practice, you get better at it. The goal is to always make sure that it's fully constrained, especially for these first assignments, because that is one of the requirements we ask for these assignments here, that each sketch is fully constrained. Once you have it fully constrained, we could look at in the drawing, it says thickness 0.5. From here now, we could go finish the sketch or go to 3D model and right away with it selected, hit the extrude button. Now you need to choose your profile. So this is the profile I want. and you just go into the units of distance A and put 0.5. You're going to notice there are different methods. You could go the default, which is one way, or you could flip it going inward. You could have it go 0.5 equally spaced, or you could have it set different distance. You could go 0.5 one way, 0.0 the other way, or 0.4 one way, for example, 0.4, and this way is going to go 0.1, which is still giving me the exact number that I had before, which is the overall of 0.5. You can use it, most times you use either the flipped or coming out, depending on what you want it to do. Depending on what you're working with, you have it. And then in the advanced options, you can add a taper to it if needed. So if I go to type a taper, say, of 1, let's do a big number, let's do 10. You'll see that it's tapering outward. If I flip it, it's going to go downwards. This way it's going, let me just rotate this. Using the shift and the mouse button, remember, you could go like that, and you'll see that it's going inward or outward depending on what you need. If I don't need one, I could just type in 0, and it goes back to normal. And like that's the way you do the first piece. Once it's fully constrained and you extruded it, the next step to do is make sure you save it. File, save as. It's saving in the folder that we made, Documents, Inventor 2023. I thought I made another folder actually. Is this not the right folder? Oh, I had to make another folder in there. So when I did it, I should have had a folder called, this was my mistake, exercises. So I'm going to show you now that I make this folder, how to set it so it saves them in here. Exercises 1. And this file name will be called inclined support. Press save, and it's done. Inclined support, everything looks good. So let's go back, and I'll come back to this page. Let me press X, for example, for an instance. And again, you notice it's called exercise 1. So let me go see what happened there. Settings. Inside here. So now it's making the folder, but I didn't make it inside the actual project one. So what I'm going to do is I should be able to browse it. If I browse and I want it to be this one here, exercise 1, all I do is I go browse. I search for that file that looks like this, press open, and now it should work. It says it is. But now let's go inside here. Let's go browse again. Exercise 1, open here. I wonder why it doesn't want to do this. I mean, it is working, so it is in there. So we do have our inclines 1. Let's just see if it's because I have the same name. Let me just try again. New settings. New project, single project, yes. Inside here, I'll call it exercise. I'm just going to call it exercise 1 instead of the S inside of it. I'm going to browse. Did I not click on the folder probably before? I did in Documents, Inventor. Yeah, that was my problem. See, in here, exercise 1, open. Now it should save them in there. This is it. See, this one here, I'm going to delete. I forgot to click on, when I made the folder, I forgot to click on it and actually tell it to go inside the first one. So now if I press done, and I were to make a new file, right? And I were to save right away, file, save as, it loads. Still loading, file, save as. You see it's saving it inside the actual correct folder. So now the next one I could do is, especially if you know your computer crashes a lot, you can always save it before you start working on it. Like so, and press OK. Did I do this right? No, because I didn't make sure which one I did when I started a new file. So I need to make sure that every time I'm starting a new project, that I'm actually opening up English, and I'm making sure that it's in inches. Or else you could make a mistake. If I just click this one as the default, this is a generic. It does work as well, but it's just always make sure we're in English standard. Great. And now I made sure I had the right one. And you guys can go again, save right away. That's good practice, and call this one spacer length. Save. And this would be the second one that you guys will be working on. So again, same exact method. You could start whichever way you want. If you know, I will go this way, then I go across. I could stop here, then go this way, go up, go here, draw a line, and then do dimension and just connect the lines. So let me just do that one for you. Again, there's many ways of doing it, but whichever way you find the most useful is the way you go with it. X, Y again, because I like to use this plane. And again, I'm going to start from the origin. Just remember, always try to start from the origin. You're going to go here, because if I don't start from the origin, just for example, and I start from up here, so that's the origin 0, 0, I'm going to start from here and do what I was working before. So 6.5, right? Right away, you notice what? It's still not black because of the fact that there's no constraint for it. This line can move around because it's not locked to the origin. But I'm going to show you how to get it to lock after we're done. So we have the 6.5. Again, as soon as you type in the dimension 6.5, it automatically gives you the annotation for you. So I have this and this. Let's go back from this view, go down here. This will be a total of, I could do the math and I could say equals 8 minus 2.5. And it'll give me the dimension that's needed if I wanted to do that. Then I could go back up again. This would be 2.5. Come this way would be 2.5. Then I go up. Again, I could draw just a random line like this. And now I'm going to do my dimensions that correspond to the drawing. I'm going to get rid of the 5.5. I'm going to go from this location to this line here. Should be a total of 8. Perfect. We have the 2s. That's perfect. And we do dimension from this point to this end here, which is a total of 5.5. And then I'm going to connect the line. All right. Now I have all the dimensions other than the circles. We're not going to do the circles at the second, but you'll notice, actually I will do the circles so we still see it. We'll go to circles now. I'll draw one circle from here. I click, right click. It's on diameter now. If I want a radius, I click radius. If I want diameter, I right click, switch it back, and it's going to be 2.5. And my other one, which is up here somewhere, we're going to put it also 1.5. And then it's just back to dimensioning from locations. I'm going to go from this point to here, 1.5, and go from this point to here, 5, and that's giving me this location. I can move these dimensions to make it more clear. But again, these are not the same ones you could be having on the sheet, so you don't have to make them super clean. It's clean so we understand where the dimensions are. You could retrieve your dimensions, but for now, you're going to have to redo the dimensions on the other side. So don't worry too much on making them pretty here for now. From here to here should be 3, and from here to here should be 2.5. So now we have all the dimensions, but you still have 2 dimensions missing. What are they? It's locating from here. You're missing the X and the Y. If I wanted to, just to show you, from here to here, I could give it a distance of whatever that is. And then there goes to 1, from here to here as well. And now it's fully constrained. Is this correct? No. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can move the whole thing, or you can do this. You're going to go to the constraint, use the one that's right over here, coincident. Sorry, I can't even pronounce it. Right there, and then go from the origin to the center, and it's going to pull your drawing back to make it fully constrained. And we have the drawing set with the same amount of dimensions, nothing added extra. Actually, yeah, this one here should be pulled out like so. This one here should be put down here to align that one, and this one here should be brought down as well. So all the dimensions we have are the same. Again, one thing that's not the same, and we could adjust it even on the last one, is the fact that your dimensioning, instead of having the arrows, you have it coming inward. If I'm not mistaken, can I right click and change them? No. So what you do is you go to dimension properties. Oh, not for this way, in the wrong way. You have to go to the manage. And in the manage, you do have one for units. Let me just find where it is. Update, is it manage or tools? Let's see, annotate. So under tools, you have document settings. And we have the units here. That's good. Sketch settings. It's not the one I wanted. Is it application? No, that's the first one. Application is this one. Where's mine for the? Let's just finish for now. Let's go extrude this one. So again, the other, I'm going to come back to that other one, but let me just show you this. Once it's done, I could exit. The key thing is you have to remember, especially when you're doing SOLIDWORKS Inventor, you need to always hit the finish sketch. Even if I try to save it, it's going to say no because you need to always hit the finish button. And then if I extrude, I choose the profile I want. My thickness, same method, whichever way you want. And I could put 0.125. Now, what I want to do is sketch is I should be able to annotate. Or is it because we're in this one? Oh, style editors. So that's the one I was looking for. Under manage style editors. Is it this one? Or am I mixing up again? Yeah, I think I'm mixing up again. It's not the one I'm looking for. And what is the command again? View. Let's open this again. Edit sketch. Annotate. I guess because we're not doing the sheet, it doesn't really matter. I could change the precision here. So that fixes this. It was just more the arrows I didn't like. Can I fix them here? I think I'm thinking the other software, but I know we're going to fix the dimensions when we actually do the sheets, because here it doesn't really affect it. But we, as you can see, we did change it to 2 decimal point for this one here. But what I do want is to okay, so it doesn't, I don't think it does affect it. I don't understand why. No, why is it limits? Let's just move on. I want to see if if what I'm thinking is right. So if I go now, let's say we have to make a sheet for this. New drawing sheet, but again, I can click this way, or I could just close this file. Go new, make sure I'm in English, and go to the drawing sheet, whichever one. These are both the same thing. All right, and now I'm going to keep the same paper size for now. I just want to see if I bring it in. So model, let's go bring in the first one, or even this one here that we're working with. Open it up. The scale is fine. That's okay. Reject. This is just showing the thickness. So we'll do these 2 views. Okay. We have these 2 views here. Now, if I want a dimension, is this where I'm looking for the dimensions? Annotate. Style editor. Yeah, see, now I have more settings. So when you're in the actual file, we didn't have these, but inside here we do have more settings, and this is what I was looking for before. Again, when I'm trying to annotate now, same like before, I have the sheet. I could do a dimension from here to here, like the drawing showed. It's going to annotate it as well. Now, I know one of your questions may be the dimensions we did before, can we bring them in? yes, we can bring in the dimensions we worked on before. Sometimes it works nicely, sometimes it's horribly wrong. But let me just show you what I mean. So let's go retrieve. So under annotate, you have the retrieve button. You could do click on it like so. And as you can see here, how we actually came out pretty nice. Now it's not bad. It's usually in the other one came out pretty horrible because sometimes there's just too many dimensions. But this is just the right amount. We have the features, press apply, press close, and we have our dimensions that we set. We do have to adjust some of them, obviously, but it's a lot easier than redoing it again if we don't need to. And as you can see here, this one came out nicely. I don't know what's wrong with this one. Why is it locked there? If I erase it and do another dimension, let's see if that works. I could always delete the dimension. So if it's locked and it's not letting you modify it, just delete it, hit the dimension button, and it's going to give you a clean surface. Again, like we had before, now I could add my thickness on this one because I didn't have this dimension before. So why is it saying this? Because our precision is changed. So for this one here, what I can do is double click on it or right click on it and change the right click. You should have the edit button and we should be able to change the unit to a 3 decimal for this case here. Because we want to know, we don't want it to round up to 0.13. We want to show the actual thickness. We are missing some annotation symbols. So if I want to add these center marks, all I need to do under annotate, hit the little center, click the circle. There we go, click the circle, and we have them right away. So this is a quick way to add the sheets. Obviously, we're not going to make you guys do this. It is good practice if you can do this for each one, because it gets you momentum. We're not going to worry about the title block right now. If you want to change the look of this one here, right click, or sorry, double click on it, and you can make it a solid or shaded color. Whenever you see it, I could add also my center marks over here so I know there's a circle, a hole, I mean, but we do have them placed. Good. So this is how you would make the two first parts. Again, I'll do this another for the other one as well. You could save this as good practice. Spacer. We're not going to go too much into the sheets right now because we're going to go that later on, but we could adjust all this as well. So this is done. I hit the save button. Call it the same one, spacer plate. Close it. Open a new one. New drawing again. Create it as well. And we can do the same thing for the first one. Use the base. Load it. Look for the incline support. Open it up. Make the scale, you can make it a little bit bigger. So that's smaller. Let's make it 2:1. You can even make it bigger, 3:1. It's a big paper size D. That's why it's letting you do such a huge scale. I could also project right away. So let's go a little bit smaller. Let's go 3:1. Let's go this view here. Or I could do the top view this time. And I'll do the projection view here. Do I need to have these two views together? No, I can either choose this one or whatever you want. Double click. Just don't put both because we don't need both of them because we're only using this one here to show the thickness of the drawing. So I could get rid of the top view. I don't need it. And I could do my annotate like before from here to here, which is going to give me my thickness of 0.5, which isn't the right thickness. So let's go check, edit. Is our precision set the wrong one? Did I type in 0.4? Now let's go check to see if I actually put 0.4. But before we do that, let me just retrieve the dimensions as well. Retrieve, select the drawing, everything's placed nicely, press OK, and you have all your dimensions. Like in the drawing, this I had set up nicely. All we're missing is our center marks for this guy. And that looks pretty clean, actually. What I do want to see is what happened to my thickness. So we're going to right click on the drawing, open it. And then I'm going to go to the extrusion. It's when I did the 0.5 thing. Edit feature. And I'm going to change it to the correct number of 0.5. Close it, save it. And there's my thickness upgraded. My dimension is placed the same location, and everything seems to be good. If I want to get rid of the decimal points in this one here, same thing again. I'll go to the Manage, under Style Editor, go to my dimensions, go to the one, I think right now I don't know which one it's using, but I think it's using the default. Let's see which one it's using right now. If I go check, which one are you using? It's adding layers because you could import this to CAD and that's why it's showing that. Oh, I think it's the DDIM. Oh, that's DDIM. Let's go back to where I was, tools. Where, oh, you could edit layers, but the layers again is because we're bringing, let it load. It's because you're bringing it into CAD. Let's go back to tools, not sketch, manage. Let's go back to style editors. And the layers again before. Let's go back to dimensions. I think it's our default. And see. And let's go change precision from this to 1 decimal point. And adjust it. We have it set up nicely. And like that, we have, again, another sheet. You hit to save, and you have both. But again, this is an extra step because we do want it to be fully constrained. So if you are doing the drawing, let me just open it so you see. You have both of them. It's a good habit to do both. But again, the main goal of this exercise is to make sure you're able to sketch it. And as well, if I were to edit the sketch, you see you have fully constrained. And then you do the rest as well for the other ones. This one, same thing. When you're doing this view here, to make it fully constrained, is whichever view you're working on, say this face right here, you make it fully constrained, then you do the other one, like in AutoCAD. This one here we'll probably do together again. I'll let you guys try, and I'll probably post another video later on if you guys are stuck on this. All right, so for now, just continue working on your assignments, and you guys should be good. So that's a quick little tutorial about how to do a sketch, and I also showed you how to put it on the sheet, as well as changing the unit precision. And again, don't worry too much right now on this end. When you do bring it to the other side, it will adjust like the symbols and so forth. Here they won't put it because it's just for sketch. But as you saw before, if you keep it clean, when you retrieve them, they'll look the same on the other side. All right, and that's the end for this video. Thank you.